I suppose it is time to review another movie from the Halloween franchise. I couldn't tell from the endless messages saying, "Where's Halloween 6? I thought you were gonna review Halloween 6. How come you haven't reviewed Halloween 6? I understand such early frustration, because apparently October of 2016 only has 14 days in it. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers takes the bold move of removing sequel numbering, because if you've watched this many Halloween movies, you probably have no use for math. And that's right, I said Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Just look at the trailer.
Halloween 6, the origin of Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, and it was also plagued with post-production problems, as evidenced by the fact that they couldn't settle on a fucking title! And what's with the Dimension logo? It feels like the movie is gonna open in outer space. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it flows nicely.
Uncle Michael, please don't hurt me.
Nope, can't tell this was a movie that was botched in the editing room. As you may remember from last time, Michael was arrested only to be freed by the Hitcher, who also abducted Michael's niece, Jamie Lloyd. It took 6 years to bring this resolution to theaters. I'm sure that means the movie is very smart. Jamie is now older, pregnant, played by another actress, and really stressed, as you can tell by the skewed ratio vision. Who impregnated her, you ask? Why, it was the fucking Pope! They're wearing scrubs and masks to protect the baby and the mother from germs. Everything else here looks completely clean. The baby is clearly Michael's, which is why this cut indicates that she gives birth to fire. Who knows what to do with Jamie Lloyd's baby? The Shadow knows. So for 6 years, Jamie has been held hostage by the Thorn cult, who wanted to impregnate her with Michael's seed. Yeah. And Rob Zombie ruined the franchise. And in case you've forgotten the backstory...
When Michael Myers was 6 years old, he stabbed his sister to death.
Stop mentioning a better movie!
He killed his entire family until his 9-year-old niece, Jamie Lloyd, was the only one left alive.
There, mention one of the shittier Halloween sequels. That makes more sense. One of the nurses, I guess just now figuring out the demon seed cult is bad, helps Jamie escape. Only one person can protect her baby, Willow Offgood. Certainly not the nurse, who is trying not to laugh.
That way. No. Save your baby. Go, now.
Who needs a security system when Michael is just wandering around the premises, ready to jump right back into slasher movie mode in seconds? George P. Wilbur, who played Michael in Part 4, returns here in Part 6, so he clearly has some catching up to do. What? They were inside of a dumpster this entire time? It looked bigger than that. I'm glad this is picking up from the 5th installment. I was wondering how Winona Ryder was going to escape.
What?
But Rousdower, on the other hand, is way dead. Thankfully, the rights to the film were sold by Strode. Really? Now I can blame them for the shitty editing.
Benny. Kill for him.
Mommy!
Get your Elm Street 2 out of my Halloween 6! Well, actually, Elm Street 2 is a better movie. More Elm Street 2! A local radio show tells us that Halloween has been banned for 6 years and is making its return, but the movie doesn't care about that, since it immediately cuts to tits while the program plays. Don't worry, the movie isn't the only one spying. Michael Myers is now the second creepiest person in Haddonfield. And who the hell is that? That person looks really familiar.
I was only 8 years old when I saw him, but I was one of the lucky ones. I survived.
Holy shit, it's Jason Segel. So Paul Rudd plays Tommy Jarvis, or Tommy Doyle, I mean. He was the kid Laurie was babysitting in the original. And don't worry, Loomis is back too.
I heard the old quack was dead.
Not dead. Just very much retired.
Weird first line, considering this movie was released after Donald Pleasance died. This talk show is so popular that even people who have been held captive for 6 years are tuning in. Haddonfield may have banned Halloween, but they haven't banned local businesses from looking like a shitty 90s horror film. She's now calling her agent to see if she can replace Danielle Harris in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Meanwhile, Loomis gets a visit from Dr. Wynn, played by Mitch Ryan.
To old friends, to retirement, to new beginnings.
He's the villain. They also recast Wynn, because I guess they couldn't find whoever that guy is. Instead of calling the police, Jamie calls the talk show in the hopes that Loomis is listening. And what's even more unbelievable than that is that he is. I'm starting to wonder why one of the alternate titles wasn't Halloween, I Want My Baby Back, Baby Back, Baby Back. And she still hasn't wiped her mouth from eating her first caramello in 6 years. The weird thing is that this car chase is completely unrelated. They outlawed Halloween, but not rape vans. Actually, Haddonfield does still celebrate Halloween. They just renamed it Forest Green. Speaking of, she goes into a barn since she'd rather deal with Jason Voorhees. I'm sure it was incredibly important to bring back Jamie. I see her lasting a long time. Michael Myers is a really shitty uncle. It's important he turns the machine on. She totally would have survived otherwise. Relatives of the Strode family are now living in the Myers house, and this movie sorta remembers what that house looked like after it was turned into a gothic mansion in 5. Now the movie can begin. Yes, thank you. And here I thought the movie took place in Springwood. I know what fucking movie I'm watching! Asshole Dad John is pissed that kids keep messing with his house on Halloween. Who would have thought that that would happen after moving into the Myers house? Not that there's anything else that makes him detestable.
Well, who the hell asked you to come back here in the first place? Doesn't show her face around her own family for 5 years, then comes back and expects us to roll out the red carpet. You think going to college is going to make up for your mistakes, girl? Huh? Oh, yeah, that's it, Deborah. Just keep slipping her the cash. You know, while you're at it, I got a great idea. Here, why don't you give her all of our goddamn money?
That guy makes Jack Torrance look like Super Dad, and it gets worse.
Get away from her!
You shut up and stay out of this.
He is so dead. The kid is gonna get him back by ordering a voodoo doll from Creepshow magazine. Are you on the edge of your seat yet?
What the hell happened this time?
Let's not start that shit. Loomis is on the case, but is mainly there to give his secret to getting rid of all those facial scars from this happening.
It's time, Michael.
And hopefully he tells us just how the fuck he survived that explosion. Again, Tommy Doyle is still the creepiest person here.
Supposedly some scary shit happened to him when he was a kid.
Yeah, you know, that old Michael Myers thing. You might not have heard about it. Tommy is obsessed with the Myers case. Must be why this is the first we've seen of him since the opening of Part 2. Now we know what Ant-Man would have looked like if it were incorporated into the DC universe. The bus station is now open, but no one has cleaned up this trail of blood all afternoon, or cleaned up the bathroom sink for that matter.
Jesus.
Or found a screaming baby in the cabinet. What the fuck, Haddonfield? Knocked Up would have been a far different movie if it starred the Rudd character. This is 40 my ass. Kara and her friends have meanwhile found a map to Woodstock 99.
I think it's cool.
Not everyone in the 90s was Butthead. Some of them were Beavis. Best get that baby to the hospital.
It's my baby. There's been an accident.
What kind of accident?
Get me a doctor, now!
Security?
Haddonfield Hospital prefers only unpanicky people to bring babies into the hospital, or they'll call fucking security. But then he runs into an old friend.
Tommy Doyle. Laurie Strode, Jamie's mother, was babysitting me the night when...
Tommy Doyle.
Huh, you look different. Tommy soon gets chased out of the hospital because there will be no sick babies on these premises, mister. Kara's mom is Kim Darby. Nice to see she raided the costumes from Mama's family. And just because Michael breaks into people's houses doesn't mean everyone else can, or their damn jump scares just scare the shit out of her with the dialogue.
I beg of you, don't let your family suffer the same fate that Laurie and her daughter suffered.
Not to mention Ben Tramer, and whose fault was that, Dr. Loomis? There's more jump scares in this film than there are Halloween decorations. Hey, remember when Tommy was a kid and dropped a pumpkin and then Michael started following him? Yeah, I should be watching the first one right now. Michael lurking in the background isn't as creepy when you put in a fucking stinger to tell us that he's there. She's mad at her husband for not telling her that they live in the Myers house. Okay, as much of a dick as this guy is, that's on her for not knowing that she's living in the most famous house in town. This causes her to leave, and not the fact that she lives with Trump with a perm. Her downfall, though, won't be Michael, but shitty editing. And then John Wayne saves her, but kills her horse in the process. Nice of Michael to clean the sheets after he dirtied them. No one wants to be the only bloody Klansman at the rally. Again, people just walk right into this house.
What are you doing here?
Someone's not a fan of Over Her Dead Body. He tells them more about the Myers house, but again, the editing makes it confusing.
Do you know whose room this used to be?
The Phantom of the Opera's room? Tommy takes them all over to his place for safety.
You don't really expect us to stay here, do you?
Don't like it? Go back and stay with your abusive father. Nice to know the biggest headline from the 1978 Halloween massacre is that Tommy Doyle survived. Oh yeah, the real hero of the night. What, no love for Lindsay? Kara takes over bottle duty when Tommy tries feeding the baby through its nose, but soon we're given the origin in the Curse of Michael Myers subtitle.
According to Celtic legend, one child from each tribe was chosen to be inflicted with the Curse of Thorn, to offer the blood sacrifices of its next of kin on the night of Samhain.
Remember when this series was just about a guy who kills people? Have you downloaded your Thorn screensaver yet? Oh, there's more fancy talk.
The sacrifice of one family meant sparing the lives of an entire tribe. For years, I've been convinced there must be some reason, some method behind Michael's madness.
How do you know all of this? This was before the invention of Wikipedia. Just leave the baby next to the laundry basket. I see nothing bad happening here. Tommy has more important work to do, like posing for the movie's trailer, while we get even more exposition.
Long, long time ago, it was a night of great power, when the days grew short.
Thanks, Grandma Cochran. I've seen Halloween 3. It's a much better movie than this. And your stupid lightning effects keeps turning this into a self-parody.
Especially the boogeyman.
What's the boogeyman?
It wouldn't have had the same effect if she just farted after saying the boogeyman. Oh, and it keeps going.
Michael heard a voice?
It told him to kill his family.
So is Michael now Frau Blucher? How does no one see him standing there? And if the lightning hadn't struck, his lurking would be completely pointless. Meanwhile, at the Halloween party, Hot Topic Bride of Frankenstein was the most popular costume in '95. And who knew the mysterious man in black was the radio DJ this entire time? Just kidding, it's this guy. Dad comes home and he's had a really long day of being Ryan O'Neal.
God damn it. She actually left.
Oh, don't worry, she left you her jump scares. How many times does he have to tell that bitch to never put red blood in the white sheets? Told you Michael cleaned up his mess. Since this movie really wants this guy to die, I'm sure his death scene is gonna be really lame. That is the only satisfying thing in this movie. Sure is more satisfying than this ridiculous in-movie Halloween debate.
Whoa! Does she get this riled up in the sack, Tim? I bet she wears crotchless panties and barks like a dog.
Can we not let Billy Bush moderate this? When the DJ finds out Kara's brother lives in the Myers house, he instantly wants his show to be recorded there. You'd think he'd need permission, but people just walk into that house anyways. I'm sure it'll be a ratings hit. Oh, never mind. We have to wait until Halloween Resurrection to bring multimedia into the Myers house. I'm sure that's a great film. Now that there's no radio show, that frees them up for a sex scene. Not sure why he's being filmed in rapist vision, though. But first, the foreplay.
He stood in the shadows, watching through the windows as his sister and her boyfriend made love. Then he crept inside, picked up a huge butcher knife. She turned around, and he stabbed her.
Cut it out, Beth.
Will this movie ever become its own film instead of just telling us about the first one? That didn't work for Halloween 4, and it sure as shit doesn't work for Halloween 6. But Paul Rudd has figured out the perfect weapon to fight Michael Myers.
When you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come. The games of Super Nintendo.
A fucking Super Nintendo. I guess no one saw Michael Myers decorate this man like an Ed Gein Christmas display. I think the real mystery should be, why hasn't Paul Rudd aged in 21 years? The answer? Thorn Cult. Time now to wash off that lame sex scene. Well, that's weird. People don't usually die after they fuck in these movies. Danny is getting more visions of shitty editing. Weird how the biggest hack job isn't being done by the guy who's hacking people. Great, now who is Tommy gonna spy on? Danny is now missing, so Kara goes to the Myers house to find her son. Don't know who Michael is trying to fool here, considering she saw him murder her. She finds Danny, so I assume Michael was off taking a shit, but he's back now. Where the hell did he go? But now Loomis is here to protect them, and his friend too, who I'm sure isn't evil.
Careful with the girl.
Kara!
Win.
Well, if you can't trust Greg's dad from Dharma and Greg to lead the cast of The Devil's Reign, who can you trust? Certainly not Tommy's guardian. She's fine. You can survive a fall like that in a slasher film, so long as you're the survivor. What's this? They're gone.
Why are they doing this? Why didn't they just kill us?
It's his game.
Well, that's a really stupid game. Kara has been kidnapped by Thorne, and once again, she could complain about her living conditions, but it's still better than Slapdad. Loomis and Tommy must stop the baby from being Michael's final sacrifice to Sam Hain, or to, stabilize the druid curse, or whatever. It's all stupid. And to do so, they have to navigate those long halls that are behind all the stores in a shopping mall. Loomis rather quickly finds Wynn, who wants Loomis to join him and his cult.
And I'm asking you to join me.
I thought Michael was a monster. But you...
Dude, what are you doing? He was totally about to say yes. Uh-oh, maximum security ward. That's for people who have been kidnapped and really, really, really don't like it.
He walks amongst us, brother. He's come back.
Maximum security, my ass? Who the hell is that?
How does it feel to be damned?
Oh, shit.
Okay, two satisfying things in the movie. The dad's death, and that very Paul Rudd reaction. Just the simplest change of letting Paul Rudd be Paul Rudd and hilariously reacting to horrifying things would make all the difference in the world in this film. I'm really not sure how Wynn's involvement was such a secret. They all seem pretty out in the open about this cult. And no one asked for Michael to have a motivation similar to Vigo and Ghostbusters 2. Whoa, 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 Michael. Dads are gonna have to wait in the waiting room. You can murder people, but no lighting cigars, please. What is he doing? I know it's easy to get lost in a hospital, but it's not embarrassing to ask for directions. That's what the help desk is for. They've really amped up the weaponry since the last time Michael rampaged through a hospital. And there's much shittier lighting as well. In Michael's defense, he was stopping them from giving birth to the fly. And if you didn't want a massacre to break out, you shouldn't have turned on the strobe lighting, or made your hallway look like Death's prostate. I wonder what the uncut version of that death scene looks like. God, these anti-Planned Parenthood videos get more ridiculous every day. At this point, they just give up and give him the baby.
He's yours.
Is anyone taking this movie seriously anymore? I say anymore, but the movie did open with somebody already laughing at it. Psych! Horse tranquilizers! Which means he's just gonna strangle people now, instead of shoving their head through metal bars. There, I'm sure one more shot will make all the difference. And beating him with a giant pipe will help too. You just made being hit in the head look confusing. Fuck this editing! Oh, and Loomis is back. Not sure how he escaped, but whatever. I'm sure all of this will lead to a totally non-confusing and satisfying conclusion. What the fuck just happened? I wouldn't even call that an open ending, because that would imply that it's at least some kind of ending. So Loomis says he has business to attend to, the others leave, Michael took off his mask and left behind a shot, and Loomis screams about something. There's a shot of the Myers house, a pumpkin, and credits. The end? If it seems like someone stepped in and said, this movie looks too fluid, so let's take a chainsaw to the editing, botch the ending, delete whole subplots including most of Loomis's scenes, despite his top billing, and nix a proper resolution to the Thorne setup and replace it with nothing, then you would be right. That is exactly what happened. And how did this happen? Because the movie tested poorly with 14-year-old boys. I'm not kidding. Whiny 14-year-olds who didn't like a more intricate Thorne conclusion caused the film's climax to be heavily reshot, only without Donald Pleasance because he died before the reshoots, resulting in a shit-for-brains ending that wouldn't even please a 7-year-old, let alone a 14-year-old. And did these reshoots work out? No! Critics hated it, audiences hated it, well, except for the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, which has a quote calling it the scariest Halloween of them all. Unless that's followed up by, that is if you're 14 and stupid, we should really think about removing your Academy status. The only thing this movie did right was make people really curious to check out the original version, known as the producer's cut. That's right. 2 Halloween 6s, both radically different from each other. Is it too late to turn this into an anthology series? Unfortunately, yes. Will we be checking out the producer's cut? Yeah. Will it be next week? No! I gotta see about a dog.
The baby. Where's the baby?